Welcome to another episode of Coronavirus versus Business. For all of you that are new viewers to the channel, to this particular podcast, the purpose of this show is to bring you value, to bring you tips and tricks on how to get through this crisis, which is ultimately going to change into a recession mentally, physically, and financially. 8 billion people are about to get the flu.
Yep.
And that is the financial flu. So we thank you all for being a part of the show. This means a lot to Rob and I. This is episode 7, and we hope to share as much knowledge as we both have over the last 2 decades.
Making me feel old now. Dang.
Old is a good thing, I celebrate every birthday because every birthday's like, wow, another year.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Yep. True.
Birthdays are important. I want to get to my next birthday.
Me too.
More now that I got kids. I want to get to the 5th and the 6th and the 70th and the 75.
And then get to the triple digits. Triple digits. My grandmother lived to 104. Just imagine that. 104. Majority of them were good years.
Gonna
too.
steal some of your DNA when you're sleeping, eh? Well, here we are, episode 7. We hope to do a lot more. We got a bunch of things I want to talk about today. Hard times make great people. Hard times make great people, and I say that because, to be honest with you, I went through a lot of hard times, and each time you learn, and you become greater and greater and greater. You make mistakes, you learn a lot,
And that applies even to the best media. So since 2002, if anyone thinks it's been smooth sailing since that, hell no. Yeah. It's been a roller coaster ride, just like any business, a lot of ups and downs. But to Dave's point, every time we went down hard, we bounced up even harder. So, yeah.
It's very important. And right now, you need to focus on moving forward. Mm-hmm. Understand what's happening around you. You can't change it, but you can change the way that you're going to act towards it.
Well said.
So, honestly, I believe discipline is a huge part of surviving in your business. You need discipline when you go to the gym, depending on the targets you want to hit, and so on. But when it comes to business, you need discipline. So right now, more than ever, the game has changed. It's completely changed. Okay, so for those of you that for those people out there thinking like everything's going to be okay, next week, and be optimistic, be positive. But let's be real, it's not going to be okay. And now it's just a whole different platform out there, so the game has changed. So I believe discipline is one of the major factors in surviving any recession or any bad crisis that has happened to your life. Discipline. So you know what? Things are bad right now. I'm instead of being at the office at 7, be at the office at 6. So whatever you're doing, you're gonna have to change the game. So maybe you were putting 1 times the effort in. I think now you got to put 2 times, even maybe 3 times to make that same dollar. What do you think?
Well said. I think, yeah, definitely. But we need to make sure you're putting that effort into the right areas too, right?
True.
So, spinning your wheels or putting your effort into the wrong things right now could be very painful as well. So make sure you understand where you need to put that discipline and that time, that energy, that attention. And it's challenging because, no one really knows. When it comes to your business, you could think that you're doing the right thing. And I've had this issue many times across my career. You're working hard and if people that worked hardest made the most money, then, people that do hard labor will probably be making the most money in the world, because that is, physically very, consuming physically. So, you need to work smart too, and just make sure that you're putting that discipline, that time, attention into the right focus.
But if you didn't build up that discipline, it's going to be very hard.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It'll be very hard. It just doesn't happen like that.
Yeah. I'm still working at it after 20 years.
And
right?
now more than ever, you need it.
Yeah.
So you got to make changes. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be more difficult to make that dollar today than it was a month ago.
So what do you do personally in yourself, in your business, your personal life? How do you implement that discipline?
It's built up over years.
And
It started from a crisis like this. I'm sorry, not like this. This is a pandemic. This is something completely different.
A little bit,
But it has the same fundamentals. Certain things are going to happen. Financially, it's already starting happening out there, right? So, you got to go through something like this, and like hard times make great people. And some of the things that you do is you get a pen, you get a paper, and you make it simple. And
Well said.
history repeats itself. You write down, what are the things I need to do to change? Why am I making these changes? If you weren't working with a digital agency, a digital partner to scale your business because you thought that everything was going to be okay, or I'm okay right now, I got enough business, and the people I'm selling to right now or offering service to, they're not going to go anywhere. Well, that's not the case. I came back from seeing a customer today, a lawyer. What did he tell me? He told me that his customers that he has in the franchise business, he mentioned Mr. Subs, these guys own eBurrito, all these places, right? They're telling me their sales have dropped 90%.
Wow.
And some of them even more.
90%.
90%.
Holy moly.
Unbelievable.
That's massive.
Massive.
Yeah.
Tim Hortons, what did they do? Free delivery. They're covering the Uber charge. So you got to make certain changes now. Again, forced. This was forced confinement. This wasn't something you woke up making changes, take it bit by bit. No, this was smack, boom.
Yeah.
Another one just came out today in the city of Toronto. 2 meters, bylaw, $750 fine.
Wow.
They see you, boom. $750. Now what are they doing? Are they doing it for your safety? I hope so. Or are they going for the $750? I believe that they all, I believe that the mayor and the premier and whatnot, they really care about the people. So they've implemented an action plan. But where they failed is that they're coming up with the plan now. That's why it's taking so long to action this. So they're taking analytics from other countries, and which they wouldn't have had before, which is fine. They got a team for that. But what if this happens? What if? What were they doing up until now? How do you not have an action plan? How does a business not have an action plan? That's crazy. It changes, of course, but you got to have something in place for these situations. You have to. So, you don't just sit there and say it's going to be okay, because one day it may not be there anymore. And that's, when you're working with a digital agency, if it's the right partner, they're going to guide you through all of the different changes that are happening, because things are happening very quickly online, and there's different, you can speak more to this than I can, different approaches you're going to have to take, because things are changing so quick, whether you're selling your product or selling your service.
Well said.
So discipline, and making sure that you're always reflecting back on what happened, when something like this happened, and make sure that you don't do it again. So you have to put time into it. You put time into everything else. Why wouldn't you put time into an action plan to try to make sure that you're okay when something happens?
Totally agree. Often easier said than done, of course, but something that needs to be done for sure.
Well, those are the ones that are going to survive.
Yeah.
You got to do whatever it takes. Right?
So what else other than discipline? What do you suggest? Discipline, consistency. I'm going to say consistency
100%,
as well.
Yeah. You mentioned that on the other show.
They kind of go hand in hand. You can't be just disciplined for 1 week. Have to be consistently disciplined. So, and just in general, being an entrepreneur, perseverance, sticking it out no matter what. And kind of those are the same things, using different words, but perseverance is often the most important factor or characteristic of any solid entrepreneur, sticking through it, through the ups, the downs. Being consistent and being disciplined.
And new rules. This is a big problem, man. Businesses need to implement rules. And the rules have changed now. They're different than they were weeks ago. So you got to implement new rules, right? Staying back and, look at all the new rules they're implementing now. But you still got to have them for your business as well. And I would hope that they're having these conversations still. I'm sure that they're not in the office. Of course, most of these meetings are taking place via Zoom conference or some other platform. But they should be, setting a new set of rules, making sure that whatever they're doing or whatever they think that they should be doing to scale their business or even make hard decisions. Some of them may have to shut down.
That brings something that I wanted to bring to your attention. Reminds me of something I want to bring to your attention. I was speaking with one of the BIAs locally here, and long story short, they claim to have knowledge that, insiders in the city, through the mayor's office, blah, 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 they're all talking about they are projecting 50% of businesses to close down due to this pandemic. 50%. 50%. 50.
Why are they even saying that anyways? You know what I mean?
What do you think about that, Dave?
Well, I think, number one, that the BIA should be not saying that, and they should be saying, what can we do to help?
Good
know
point.
What I'm saying?
Good point.
Like, in 2 weeks, what do? Call everybody and say they're going to shut down? Like, why don't they turn around and start working with these people, start working with partners? I'm not saying that the conversation didn't happen. I'm saying, hey, instead of saying that the businesses are going to shut down, what the frig are you doing to help them? What are you going to do? You took all this money. The BIA money comes from the government. What are you guys doing? You're sitting on it. You should do something with it. You should help the businesses. Take your administration fee. Understandably, people got to get paid. One's in the office, the admin, those sorts. I totally understand. The CEO, the one, that's fine. But take the money, and they're going to get a shitload of money right now, eh? They're going to get lots of money, the BIAs. They are. The government's going to feed them. What are you guys doing with it?
Good question.
If you remember, we've had this discussion, not to name the BIA, west of here, east of here. Do you remember? We went to the meeting, and I was saying, what are you guys doing with the money? You're sitting on things. You're meeting with us. We're telling you this is what's happening. We're a marketing service provider. We're telling you this is what you should do. This is what your businesses should do. We're giving you an outstanding offer. Didn't even get back to us. Didn't even, you know what I mean? Like, not even fact proof it. Nothing. They just left it like that. Why? Because they're getting money from a bank account that's unlimited.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? So, okay, you're probably right. Those businesses may not make it, but they got to start doing something. What was their action plan, the BIA? Did they even have one? Did they ever think that there was going to be a recession? Because if they didn't,
they had one.
Well, they weren't doing their job.
Yeah.
The people on a board. Maybe they should have sat down and said, look, what if this happens? They're supposed to help these businesses. These businesses are running their business. These guys up here are running this BIA. You know what I mean? Do I got to get the CIA after you? Like, seriously.
I think a big part of it is they don't even know what to do now. This is so unprecedented, and it all goes back to not being prepared. I believe being prepared for something like this should have been in place, because it's not a big surprise that a virus eventually like this would come about. Bill Gates has been talking about this. I think he was on video since 2015. He pretty much laid out the exactly.
And how many times did he lay that out?
Lots of times. And he's a very.
Did it ever hit mainstream?
Absolutely, absolutely. But
I didn't see it.
Well, it depends what kind of mainstream you're talking about. But it's out there, and but no one had any plans in place. No federal, no provincial governments here, no city. So, yeah, challenging that none of these plans were in place already when something. It was so inevitable, in my opinion. This is something that they should have been prepared for.
Okay, so businesses, what they need to do now. not just themselves, but they got to reach out to their employees. They got to reach out to their executive side. They got to make changes. You know, most of them will have to make changes. They will have to do something that they did not want to do before in order to strive, because we're faced with something completely different. I'm sure it'll get back to normal, as everything does, but what is normal? I don't know. Things are changing so quick. So you really have to analyze your business, man, and say, is my business going to survive? Is it needed? Am I still able to solve someone's problem? Or did another, I don't know if vertical is, another something came about and pushed me right out, just like Blockbuster got kicked in the ass, and you know what I mean, by the internet, right, and by Netflix and whatnot. So, you know, you got to ask yourself, and you got to go talk to, and hey, coming to us, we can give you a lot of data. We can tell you what people are searching for. You know, we can give a lot of information if somebody is at that position right now to say, what do I do in my business? What's going to happen? Reaching out to us, reaching out to your accountant, reaching out to your lawyer, reaching out to your partners, and really making sure that they're the right people. Ask questions. Ask a lot of questions. And if it doesn't make sense, ask them again. And fact proof it. So with us, we'll be able to give you analytics on how, depending on the products and services you're selling and where you're selling them, we give you a full out detailed report, a report of what's happening out there. But you should know your business. And if that's the case, where you're getting kicked out because of what happened, or just another industry coming in, or just another something that's coming in to push you out, you should have different, you know, different pipelines in your business to bring you cash flow. So if you're selling one product, better be a fucking good product, man. Because if not, you're gonna get.
Or maybe start thinking about diversification, right? Because one product, if all of a sudden you're not, like a competitor comes in, or there's no more need for that, or anything could happen. You know, who would ever thought, like you mentioned before, Mr. Subs and Subways, these big time brands, 90% drop in their, wow, that's crazy. Who would have ever thought? But they should have been prepared. That's all I could say.
We could prepare for an earthquake. You know, hey, the earthquake's coming on Monday, or a hurricane's coming. You know, they can predict this stuff. Maybe they're a day off, a couple hours off, or whatever. This was a tough one to predict. Yeah. But they have action plans for these hurricanes and for these earthquakes and so on. So again, you got to have an action plan for the business. We were just talking about one today, you and I, and last night. Okay, what do we do? What do we, you know, how do we utilize the team we have currently right now to make sure that they work on the right things?
That's right. Right? That's right.
We got to be right. All the moves we make now, it's got to be the right moves. You agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know? It's more important than ever now.
And the game has changed. We can't be afraid to do the things that we were afraid to do 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. And you've been, now mind you, some businesses just opened up last week. I mean, weeks ago, months ago, years ago, and some have been around for 20 years, decades upon decades, and they'll get washed right out. So for those, you had time to build up equity. You know what I mean? I don't understand what's happening for those ones that for 2 weeks you just get knocked out of the game. Like you're running on those small margins. Like you're not using a digital marketing agency, a marketing provider that can help you scale, help your top line. Because if this is true that you're saying in 2-3 weeks I can't pay my rent, damn man, you fucked up.
Yeah, that's not a stable business.
You put your employees and your family in a bad mess, man. And I'm gonna get a lot of heat for saying this, but that's the truth.
Yep.
You know, okay, months, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, okay, fine. But 2-3 weeks? Come on. Either you're faking it or it's true. And if it's so, you messed up, man.
I'm gonna agree. I think a lot of businesses run on very thin margins, cash flows, and liquidity in general. So probably a lot of them within a few weeks' time of no revenue, they're done.
And that is true. And tons of times these conversations took place with yourself and customers. I've been even a part of many of them. I'm okay where I am right now. I'm okay where I am right now. Until when you're not okay, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Then you start figuring out, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Well, sooner or later, history repeats itself. These things happen. Bad things happen to good people.
Yep.
So, the value that we could bring to businesses right now is to have a truthful conversation with the leaders, free of charge. Give them your time, which 2 decades of knowledge, mistakes, and things that you've been able to prosper on and help businesses out. Your time to sit there and tell them what they should be doing right now.
Absolutely. Take advantage.
Yeah. For those that want to stay in business and maybe you're not going to make, you're not going to hit your targets the next quarter, the third quarter, or the fourth quarter, but we'll help you get to those targets.
Or at least we will help you get started in the digital landscape. And, it kind of brings me to what I wanted to talk about in terms of digital and where people need to move to. So, old media versus new media. Old media versus new media. Old media is traditionally where marketing used to take place. Old media is direct mail, networking, TV, radio, and newspapers. This is old media. If your business is relying on these channels to survive, you need to make a massive, rapid change into new media. So, if, direct mail, that's the old media. Now, what is direct mail? Email. If you build a list, any great business, any great brand has a list of customers. So if you had an email list right now for your business, you would be a lot more stable, a lot less impacted by this. Whether you have a restaurant, it doesn't matter what business you have. Your list is literally how you can make money quickly. And, by having a list, people are loyal to you. They trust you already. And, direct mail, now it's email. Networking. People used to do networking events before. So what is networking now? Social media. Easy. Facebook, Instagram, and so on. TV ads or TV advertising. Now is YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. I can't tell you how many videos are being watched and viewed and how many people spend literally hours a day on YouTube. And you can target people so effectively and efficiently. Nowhere ever before were you able to put your ads from a small or medium business onto the TV, because you're talking a minimum $50,000 investment for a commercial and hundred thousands of ad spend to just get on the TV. But now, for literally pennies per view, listen to what I'm saying, pennies per view, you can get lots of views targeted to the right audience for literally less, for an average of 5 cents a view. Just imagine that. So you could take a small budget of $500 and have tons of views in front of a targeted audience that will bring you return on your investment. So TV is now YouTube. Radio. What is radio now? Now it's podcasting. People are literally picking what they want to listen to, downloading it, and listening to that on their devices as they drive home. No longer are they listening to the radio. And if you're interested in starting a podcast like what you're listening to right now, contact us. We can help you get started, even remotely. You don't need to come into the office to film the series until all of this is over. We can do this remotely for you at an efficient price. So create content, get your podcast going.
And we can make it sexy for you.
That's right.
Jeffrey's going to make it sexy.
Newspapers are now blogs. So I hope this sheds some light, gives you an idea of what you need to do. If you haven't taken advantage of any of these new media platforms, God bless you. Your business is going to be 10 times more challenging to survive and thrive. So make that shift. Do what you need to do.
Why? Why aren't they taking advantage? They know they're the ones that are on their phones constantly, so they're on YouTube. They listen to podcasts. Every one of those that you've mentioned, 9 times out of 10, business owners are on.
I agree.
But they're afraid.
So much
So either
sense.
they're dealing with the wrong provider.
Change.
You know?
People are scared of change in the end. This is what I think it is.
Gonna have to make it now.
And being scared of it doesn't mean you're doing the right thing. Don't take action from fear. Don't be scared and crawl into a ball and do nothing. That's the worst thing you can do. Breathe, think about what you need to do, and take action. You need to take action. You might not always take the right action, but as long as you're moving in the right direction, listening to the right people, taking the right advice, you need to move into the new media.
Well,
Ladies and
how
gentlemen.
do you know what's the right advice?
Old media to new media, that's guaranteed.com. That is.
No, I don't mean that. The advice from the marketing provider.
That's an excellent question. I would look at their credibility. Who is giving you this advice? What credibility do they have?
Yeah.
What have they done in the past?
Yep. Not these fancy websites that you don't see anybody. They don't have any Instagram, Facebook. You don't see
Exactly.
who's running the show.
Exactly.
You don't see the video guys. You don't see the social. You don't see any of it. You just see a beautiful website. Give me a call. And you don't know where that person is on the other end of the phone. Is it a P.O. box?
Yep. And ladies and
So,
gentlemen,
yeah,
you
you're
can
right.
you can buy a beautiful website template very easily. Go to monstertemplates.com. For less than $100, you can buy the most amazing, most impressive website ever.
Yeah.
But, is there any value behind that?
Reviews. That's why the ORM, the online reputation management, is something that we're helping out, with some great pricing for businesses now, so they can still have an online reputation management tool work for them.
Yep.
Google reviews, Yelp, and so on, right?
And you know what's
Even the
interesting,
Glass-
Dave? Did we talk about this already? But Google, Yelp, all these platforms are now pausing the processing of reviews. So if you try to submit a review today being April 2nd, 2020, basically you're going to get a message that says reviews are not being processed. And long story short, they're just on hold. So it's some pretty interesting times. I've never imagined in my life something like that would happen. But it will return to normal. So take action, start doing the right action, and get into the new media.
and
if you're
take
not
it
there.
now. Discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline. Know what's going on right now. Understand that you can't open your doors. It's a total lockdown. So understand that. Do the renovations you needed to do. If you're not going to and you're thinking that things are not going to turn around, but you're going to open up anyways, you're going half in, half out.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not going to spend 100 in renovations? Go halfway then. That's fine. But go all the way of this big launch that's going to happen when the doors open. Be ready for it. You know what I mean? These people have been using your services for so long. It's just not going to go away.
Yeah.
But, they're going to pick now where they're going maybe. So make sure you stand out. And that's where we come in. That's where the best media comes in. That's where you can help in your team. You guys do it. And I think that more people should call on you and ask you and beat you up for that information, right? That's what you want,
Be gentle.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think we put some good value here today. We want to hear your comments. Love us or hate us, we want to know.
Have a great day, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.